Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Sam Shocker, and be careful out there today. The heat is really turning up and is expected to top 90, much warmer than the past few days. So joining me now to tell us all about it is our senior meteorologist, Chris Bianchi. How hot is it going to get?
Pretty hot today, extra hot tomorrow. So today, I hope you enjoyed yesterday. If you like the cool stuff. Yesterday, the coolest day we'll have all week. We topped out at 80 officially yesterday. We are already above that around most of the metro area. Just a few high clouds overhead. Low 80s in the metro area, 90s backyard, 81, and we're heading into the low 90s today. 80s Eastern Plains, 60s and 70s right now, 83 in Grand Junction. By the way, Grand Junction, you're going to hit triple digits for the first time in 2026 tomorrow, not quite today. Air quality alert along the I-25 corridor, including Denver. So try and limit that time outdoors, especially that prolonged time outdoors. And of course, try and avoid gas-powered vehicles, not mowing the lawn, for example, in the middle of the day and filling up your gas in the middle of the day as well. Fire weather, that is the other concern. We have a fire weather warning along and west of the Continental Divide. It's just been expanded for the foothills close to Denver as well as West Colorado Springs. That is mainly for tomorrow, but we're going to have high fire danger for both today and tomorrow. In the high country, winds will pick up, especially for tomorrow, and those temperatures are going to really spike tomorrow as well. I'll tell you how hot it gets tomorrow and when it finally cools off in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. The woman accused of kidnapping a 3-year-old girl from a Greeley apartment complex on June 8th has appeared in court once again this morning. We also learned more about what she told police. Greeley police say the girl was found safe a short time later, several streets away, with a woman she did not know. A police affidavit shows the woman, Mariah Martinez, was in withdrawal from fentanyl. One question the document shows she was only talking lucidly during part of the interview, but told officers she was getting the toddler away from her uncles. The court document shows a detective then told her she didn't know the girl's uncles, and then she told the detective she knows she put the victim in a dangerous situation. Martinez is charged with kidnapping and child abuse. 3 people have injuries today after Denver police say a suspected drunk driver ran a red light and hit 3 people in a crosswalk this weekend. One of the victims was dragged about a block underneath the car. As 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon tells us, a street safety advocate is now calling for change.
That crash happened here at 20th and Larimer Streets. 2 of the victims were thrown into the air due to the force of the impact of that vehicle, and another person was pulled underneath the vehicle and dragged for about a block and a half until the car came to a stop in traffic. The crash happened around 2:30 Sunday morning. Police say 56-year-old Cesario Serrato exited a parking lot, drove across 2 lanes of traffic, and ran a red light at 20th Street where he struck 3 people. All of the pedestrians were within the marked crosswalk, according to a probable cause statement from Denver police for the driver's arrest. Officers and witnesses had to lift up the suspect's car to free the woman from underneath the vehicle, according to that document. Denver's Vision Zero dashboard says 35 people were killed while walking last year. Jill Locantori with Denver Streets Partnership says people need more viable choices for getting around without a car.
We make bad decisions. We drink before getting behind the wheel. We don't want those human characteristics to inherently result in a tragedy. And so we want to design a system that allows people to be people.
Investigators say due to the driver's extreme level of intoxication, he was taken to the hospital before being taken to jail. He was in court yesterday where a $50,000 cash-only bond was set. In Denver, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Denver police is investigating and still working to identify a suspect in a shooting that hurt a juvenile girl overnight. They were called to 13th and Pearl a little after 1:30 a.m. and the victim was taken to the hospital. There's no word on her injuries, though, and if you have information, call Denver police. It took several years for Denver police to arrest a suspect in a 2020 murder, but now a jury has convicted the man. Patrick Apostol was arrested in 2023 for shooting 31-year-old Zachary Smith in September of 2020 and leaving him in a car near Quebec and Quincy Street. Detectives talked to people in the area, including Apostol, and searched for security footage. Police say Apostol claimed his Ring camera wasn't working, but later discovered some of the footage had been deleted. Community tips then helped detectives identify Apostol as a suspect. He's expected to be sentenced in September. A Denver police officer who led a Colorado State trooper on a chase still has a job with the department. CSP says back in December, Christopher Thomas was clocked going more than 100 miles an hour on Highway 58 in Jefferson, but they say he sped off when a trooper tried to pull him over. Yesterday, Thomas was sentenced to probation after pleading guilty in April to DUI and eluding an officer. Denver police say after his arrest, they suspended him without pay. Now they say he's working in an offline assignment as an internal review is done. Steve on your side has found another victim of Denver's broken parking ticket dispute system. A man from Grand Junction got a parking ticket that wasn't his and had proof it wasn't. However, the city was still making him drive across the state and go to court instead of just tossing the ticket out. Brad Sant got a late notice from the city of Denver for an unpaid street sweeping ticket. The $50 ticket had gone up to $100 since it wasn't paid, but there were several problems. First, he never got the initial ticket. Second, he lives in Grand Junction and says he hasn't been to Denver in several years. Third, the ticket had Brad's license plate, but it wasn't his car. He called the city and was told he'd have to appeal the ticket in person. Realizing he'd have to take time off of work, drive here, and get a hotel room, he decided paying the $100 would be easier than fighting the ticket.
Money started adding up in my head, and I was like, well, I have no recourse. I just pay the $100 fine and let it go.
The city of Denver had a so-called middleman who could toss tickets for people who had easy proof of a mistake, but that position was removed during the budget cuts. The mayor said there would be a solution for problems like this, but that hasn't happened yet. However, the city's Department of Transportation and Infrastructure says they will review Sant's citation.